welcome. Now, members of the Nigeria Labour Congress have threatened to embark on a nationwide strike and shut down the economy over the police invitation towards President Joe Ajaero. The NLC issued the threat following an invitation extended to Ajaero by the police over a case of alleged criminal conspiracy and terrorism financing. The union members said if the industrial action actually would kick off immediately if the police detained or harmed Ajaero or any of its leaders in the aftermath of the invitation. Now, on Monday, August the 19th, the Nigerian Police Intelligence Response Team had invited Ajaero over allegations of terrorism, financing, cybercrime, subversion, criminal conspiracy, and treasonable felony. This development comes in the wake of a controversial police raid on the NLC headquarters in Abuja on August the 7th. Police spokesperson Olumuyiwa DEJI360 said that the target was a prime suspect or criminal suspect now in an ongoing investigation who was traced to a shop within the building where the NLC Secretariat is located. The union has, however, described the allegations as unfounded and part of a broader effort to weaken the union's influence. Despite its strong opposition, the NLC says Ajaero would honor the police invitation, albeit with a request for an extension to prepare for the meeting.
This is my tea.
Joining me now from Abuja to shed more light on this development is the head of information and publicity for the Nigeria Labour Congress, Benson Upa. Thank you very much, Mr. Upa, for joining us on the program. First off, what exactly is the latest? You have asked the police to give you time to prepare your president for that appearance. So when is the president? That's the NLC president now. When is he likely to appear before the police? And has the police accepted your request now to give the president more time?
Thank you for your question. On the invitation, you know, it is within the right of the invitee to prepare themselves in advance for an invitation as serious as this. So it was within the right of Comrade Ajaero to say, okay, your invitation came suddenly, give me 1 or 2 days to sort myself out. So he requested for the 29th of this month, and that is next month, and that is next week, please. So he will be honoring the invitation.
So in essence, the police has accepted. You mean the police has accepted your request to shift the invitation to the 29th?
Of course. I've just explained to you that if you ask me to see you, the hour you want me to see you, it is humanly not possible for me to see you. It is within my right to say, oh, I'll be seeing you, but please give me so time, I'll come. So it is not as if police say, come tomorrow. Whether you are in ill health or whether you are out of town or out of country, that you must make yourself available. It's not done. Do you understand? Let me tell you. Every suspect has certain rights. You don't understand? Yeah. You understand?
That's true.
Yeah, we are not in a country whereby, when the big brother says come, even when you are dying, you must make yourself available. It's not done. We are not in a police state. Do you understand? And these charges are not lightweight charges. Okay? These are not your garden work charges. These are heavy charges, even as Mr. Ajaero has not yet been charged.
Mr. Upa, let me ask you, your initial reaction when that invitation from the police came, how would you rationalize that? You went on to threaten to shut down the economy, that you were going to embark on a nationwide strike if your president was detained or anything. Do you think that was the best approach?
Our initial reaction was shock, disbelief, and we saw mischief in what the police were up to. Instead of apologizing for their illegal raid on our headquarters, instead of apologizing for their act of sacrilege, discretion, because not even the military did this. Okay? In all the 8 years of General Babangida, he never did this. In the 4 years of General Abacha, he never did this. In the 1 year of General Abdul Salami, he never did this. In the years of General Obasanjo, he never did this. I have just, the recent military leaders have just whatever. So, here we are in a democracy. And then, the police executed this raid. And instead of apologizing for this, the next thing now they did was to send a letter which they dispatched by the admission, according to the CSP who came with the letter, that the office was locked. Of course, some of us were in the office on that day up to 6 o'clock or even beyond. So it tells you how late that letter was brought. And the letter was to ask Joe Ajero to report the next day. I would say no. So we saw mischief, political motivation, and a process of intimidation to cow us into submission. We saw all of that. We don't have anything to do with criminal conspiracy, subversion, treasonable felony, terrorism financing, and cybercrime. We don't have anything to do with those crimes. I want to tell you something clearly, and take note of this. Our overriding interest has always been the national interest, the integrity, the sovereignty, and the welfare of the people of this country. Those are our passion. The security of this country. We don't do those things for salary or for allowances or for budget. We do them as part of our life. That is our commitment. So, if anybody coming to dangle those charges around us, clearly it's up to some evil. And we say, well, in the event anything ugly happens to Joe Ajero again, because last year in November, he was abducted, beaten, battered by the same agents, the same police, and their collaborators and those who sent them. And now they're asking him, at this time around, it is terrorism, and so on and so forth. So we said, in the event anything happens to him, we will go out there. We will go for broke. And make no mistake about this. We have the will, we have the capacity, I'll have Nigerians behind us. I tell you this.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is because, for some people, they think you're now...
You don't owe us any explanation. Listen, let me tell you. You don't, as a journalist, you don't even owe anybody the reason why you're asking certain questions. I only thought I should let you know that.
Because
what was your initial reaction?
What I was going to say is that the impression is that you're weaponizing, you're weaponizing strike, if you like, and using it to your advantage. That you don't just go on to quickly declare that you are going to go on a nationwide strike just because the president of your union was invited by the police to explain, just to give explanations to certain issues, that you probably should have waited and see how it goes, and then rather than just go on to say, look, you're going to go on a strike, and then, some people would say you're trying to use a strike action now.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Just listen and listen to. The police cause a raid to happen. They cut away valuables, publications, etc. And tell the nation after our protest, after we say no, return those things. We got no right to do this. They refused to return them. They refused to apologize. And the next thing now, they're asking for the head of NLC. Are you waiting for the police to drop a bomb on this premises to know that the police have started a hostile action? Are you waiting for Joajero to be murdered? That is the time now you begin to, that is the time you want us to flex our muscles. You want an irreparable damage to be done. Tell those Nigerians who are not as naive as them. Those who believe we are weaponizing strike. Tell them that we are not as naive as them. That this government is up to some mischief against us. We did say that government has that government was waging a hybrid war on us. And we went on to show you facts and figures. We told you, in spite of our saying we are not going to be part of the end hunger protests, government on the eve of that protest sent us a letter of warning signed by the Register of Trade Unions saying, threatening us, asking us to explain our relationship with Labour Party. Government also interfered with the internal running of the unions by way of saying or signaling interest in the tenure of trade union executives. In other words, trying to say that union executives should hold office no more than 2 years. And we said, well, that will amount to the interference in the running of the unions, which is against the law. And if you must insist on 2-year tenure, everybody should do 2 years, including the president of this country. So, we are not kids. You see, we have tried to manage these hostile actions at the government. But writing a letter to say, without even giving him time, you bring a letter in the evening, say, come tomorrow morning, and whatever. What the hell? What do they take us for? Let them not forget that we are supposed to have come to power on the wings of the people.
But the truth is that this happens to almost every other Nigerian. So maybe it's just because it's the NLC president that is involved here. I mean, I've seen countless of situations where, citizens are invited by the police and not even given the time. So, but I can understand that.
Is that right? I'm asking you. I'm asking you as the anchor. Is that right? I mean, the fact that they do that to other Nigerians, does that constitute a right? Why would you make that which is not right the norm? Shouldn't that be seen as an aberration?
I get your point. But let me ask you this final question. Why do you think the government is after the NLC?
Government does not want dissent. Does not want lawful dissent. It does not want anybody to speak out when they are wrong. They want jesters, court jesters, praise singers. And so they see NLC as an opposition that cannot be pocketed. I tell you, our opposition, when it comes, is founded on facts, irrebuttable facts, founded on reason for the common good of the people. We are not guided by sentiments. We are not guided by ethnicity. We are not guided by religion. We are not guided by partisanship, political partisanship. No, we are not. We are guided by national interest, the sovereignty, the security, the welfare of the people of this country. Those are overriding principles. So government wants to cow everybody, okay? So that they can do whatever they like. And we say, no, Nigeria belongs to us. They may be in power today, but we say, let them not forget their own history.
Let me, unfortunately, we haven't got all the time in the world, but because you brought up the issue of partisanship. So some people have said, look, under the current leadership of the NLC, that your union has been too partisan, that your union acts like an opposition party. Your relationship with the Labour Party, and of course you have claimed ownership of the Labour Party, and that you own the party, and you know that look, the NLC has become more like a political party than a trade union under the current leadership of that union. Those
who make those allegations lack a sense of history. Do you know how old the Labour Party is? Labour Party has been, in fact, where we are now, the Labour Party, the version we are now, is the latest. Labour Party has been in existence, in fact, past much older than you. But let me also remind you that Labour was part of the process of decolonization. Per Imodu, Labour leader number 1, was in London with Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and co to negotiate our independence. That time people didn't accuse Labour of being partisan. Labour, in fact, beyond the external factors of Second World War, the internal factors that compelled the British to give us independence, we are, due to the activities of Labour, ceaseless strikes and protests. There was one that was particularly called
I understand you. I'm talking about the party. I'm talking about the political party. I'm not talking about the union.
I'm giving you history. Listen, I'm giving you history. I'm giving you history, and you listen attentively. Cost of living allowance, protest. That was what led to your independence. Immediately after independence, Labour was active in denouncing the initiative to have a British military base here. That was the First Republic. Labour and student union organization then were opposed to it, and Tafawa Balewa administration listened. When the military came, Labour was in the forefront of saying return democracy. When that fight was being waged, where were those people, where were these politicians now? They were colluding with the military. They are not the ones to tell us about the etiquettes. When civilian administration came in 1999, Labour was active in keeping that government in place. Labour was permanently checking the government of Chief Obasanjo. Chief Obasanjo never one day said we are partisan. Okay? He took it in his stride. Okay? Wherever he thought it necessary, he made adjustments. The same thing with his successor. The same with that one, with the one of, until we came to Jonathan, we protested more against Jonathan than we are doing at the moment, and so on and so forth. So it is convenient, and these people now in power, we are part of that protest. I still remember the letter signed by Mr. President himself on the increase in the pump price of PMS. Okay?
Unfortunately,
so
Mr.
these people were part of this protest. Listen. So anybody who comes now to accuse us of partisanship, those people have lost their sense of bearing. They have lost their sense of history. We are not guided by partisan something. Let me tell you, yes, we may have founded Labour Party, but we do not run Labour Party. Do you understand? And don't forget, we have Labour parties in other spheres. We have Labour Party in Britain. A unionist was president of Zambia. The Labour Party, the equivalent of Labour Party today, produced a president in Brazil, Lula. Lula, in his first tenure, lifted over 50 million people from poverty. And in spite of what the government after him tried to do, he staged a comeback and is causing positive changes in Brazil. Ours is not an aberration. Joe Ajero is not the leader of Labour Party. And let me tell you this, in spite of having Labour Party, founding a Labour Party, we went to Kebbi State to campaign for an APC candidate. He's governor today. And tomorrow we still go back because he's doing well. The governor of Kebbi State, Dr. Nasir Idris, is doing well. So we are not guided by partisan considerations. Anybody who, any party, any governor, anybody, any president who does the will of the people, we will identify with. That does not mean that we are partisan. We are not partisan.
All right.
I've told you we are guided by our national interest.
I get your point very well, Mr. Opa, and thank you so very much for your time. Thank you for accepting to speak to us. We really appreciate this. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, so I have been speaking to the head of information and publicity of the Nigeria Labour Congress. That's Benson Upa. We'll take a short break now and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Opinions are free. Facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.